What if I told you the most powerful thing happening in your classrooms today isn't the lesson plan? It's the way that your lead teacher knelt down to make eye contact with a crying toddler. It's a silly game that your preschoolers made up on the playground. It's the moment a child handed a toy to a friend all on their own. These everyday moments are not extras, they're brain building gold. And when we understand what's happening beneath the surface, we lead better. Today, you are listening to the Child Care Directors Chair podcast. I'm your host, Erica Saccoccio, and we're going to talk about building brains and what directors need to know about early learning in their centers. You see, let's go right to the basics of brain development and the importance of play. Children's brains grow at lightning speed between birth and age 5, forming over 1 million natural connections per second. These early years are when we lay the foundation for language, emotional regulation, problem solving, social connection, and even how a child sees themselves. Every warm connection, every sensory experience, every playful moment literally builds brain architecture. Play allows children to experiment, test boundaries, process emotions, and explore ideas in a way that structured instruction never can. As directors, if we only focus on outcomes, we truly miss what matters most. Instead of asking, did they learn it? Start asking, did they experience it? Empower your teachers to see that playtime is not downtime. It's the essential development work. Some strategies that you can use to support your staff could be frame play as learning in a PD. Host a 15-minute workshop explaining how dramatic play builds executive function and empathy. Or highlight brain-building moments. Like during walkthroughs, point out moments like, I love how you stayed in character during the pretend restaurant. That's really helping them build narrative thinking. Or coach your teachers to narrate learning. Encourage your staff to say things like, look how you're stacking those blocks. That's great spatial reasoning. Or when you shared that crayon, you were problem solving like a team. You know, responsive relationships matter so much more than curriculum. The brain develops best in context of safe, stable, and nurturing relationships. Emotionally secured leads to better behavior, faster learning, and stronger social skills. And when a child feels seen and supported, they're more likely to explore and take healthy risks and engage in deeper learning. Stress, on the other hand, shuts down learning centers of the brain. And a child cannot thrive in a classroom where they are fearful or disconnected. So as directors, you got to step up. Relationships are the curriculum of early childhood. A warm connection with an adult is more powerful than any worksheet ever will be. Every quote-unquote behavior issue is an opportunity to build trust or, unfortunately, to break it. Directing from a place of empathy creates psychological safety for both the staff and the children. Some strategies you can use to help support your staff could be normalize emotional support. Encourage your teachers to offer hugs or high fives or sit beside a child during a meltdown to validate their big feelings. Train your teachers on co-regulation, as this model will teach everyone in the room how to stay calm during challenging behaviors so children can borrow that calm from the adult. Breathe. Breathing together, getting composure. When the adult is calm, they can then lead that activity for a child. And celebrate connection over control. In staff meetings, ask your staff who connected with the child this week in a way that made a difference. You could even create a connection ritual, something like morning greetings with eye contacts and names. I'm sure you've seen most of these morning greetings online on TikTok. You all go on social media, right? There's a little poster. A kid can pick how they want to be greeted: a high five, a thumbs up, a clap, anything, a spin around, whatever it is. A morning greeting where you and that child make a connection for a minute. You also can do an end of the day reflection, like what made you smile today? What's one thing you really loved about the day? And it's a great way to wrap up the day with your students. Particularly, when kids go home and the parent says, "Oh, what did you do today in school?" And they say nothing, or "I played," right? But that end of the day reflection really helps children become more reflective in what they really truly did in the day, what made them happy. Now, directors, how can you help staff prioritize connection over compliance? Well, it's really important that you understand this, because in high stress environments, it's easy to fall into that compliance-based leadership. Follow the rules, keep things in order, stay on schedule. But real learning and real trust doesn't thrive in controlled base spaces. You see, when teachers feel pressure to manage behavior instead of connecting with children, relationships suffer, and so does classroom morale. Prioritizing connection doesn't mean chaos. It means seeing regulation and relationships as prerequisites for structure, not enemies of it. If you're a director, your leadership sets the emotional tone. If you're anxious, you're rushed, and you're focused only on checklists, your staff will be too. But if you slow down, model compassion, and make space for connection, that tone ripples outward. Empower your teachers to see the quote unquote behavior as communication, not defiance. You want to audit your policies. Are your rules about control or about connection? Could you soften transitions, maybe limit group time, or reduce noise stressors? Something to really think about. You want to support your staff in difficult moments. When a teacher is struggling with a child, offer presence before advice. Maybe just helping. "Let me sit with you for a while and figure this out" means so much more than "have you tried this?" Create reflection time once a week and invite the teachers to reflect on which child felt most connected to me. Which child seemed like they needed more? Language swap tools can also help. Give staff cheat sheets to shift from. Instead of saying "stop crying," "I am here and it's okay to feel sad." Or words like "you know better," instead of saying "let's figure out what happened together." I can think of so many examples in my 26 years where I have saw the relationship and the language and the connection make a huge difference for children. I'm sure you can as well. So if you're not part of our leadership group, please hop on over and share with us how you have used any one of these strategies to help kids either calm down in their space or, come out of their shell. I want to hear from you. My final thoughts today are: early childhood leadership isn't about having all the answers, but it is about creating an environment where growth is possible for children, for staff, and for you. You don't need a fancier curriculum. You don't need more connection. You need more intentional connection. You need to protect play. You need to keep reminding your staff that what they do every day matters more than they think. So this week, take one step to center brain building in your center. Email your team with one brain fact for the week. Or post a sign that says, "When we play, we grow." Ask one teacher, how are you helping children feel safe and connected? And don't forget to take 10 minutes to play with the child in the classroom. Not supervise, but just connect. And finally, remind your team and yourself, you're not just managing a classroom, you're building lives, one interaction at a time. As always, thank you for tuning in to the Child Care Director's Chair podcast. I hope you have a great day.